What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. And on today's episode, I'm gonna be talking about a game that I've been wanting to cover for a long time, but I didn't know where to, when and where to cover it because it is one of my favorite third-person shooters of all time. And today we're gonna be talking about Syphon Filter, man. So I didn't know this, but Syphon Filter. Here's a little fun fact: Syphon Filter, the first one, came out January 31st, 1999. Does anybody else? Does anybody know why that date was important? Why that was an important date? Because something else happened on that date, and if you can tell me what the correlation is in the comments, man, you guys are awesome. But let me know. Um, but yeah, Siphon Filter, first person shooter developed by 989 Studios, who was an exclusive developer for PlayStation. You may know them for doing Siphon Filter. They did the NBA games for PlayStation and PlayStation 2, back when you know back before 2K took over everything and was the only one that could create NBA games. You had various companies making EA games, and that was a competitive market. But man, Siphon Filter, I just have so many memories of playing Siphon Filter. You play as Gabe Logan, special agent, and he's got his assistant Cindy, who's briefing him on these missions, and it's just a wild roller coaster ride, man. So many weapons to choose from. Uh, my favorite weapon before I back then it wasn't about me beating video games. I just wanted to run around and beat up the bad guys. But I eventually did finish Siphon Filter, and one of my favorite weapons to use was, believe it or not, and everybody's gonna probably laugh at me for this. One of my favorite weapons to use in the game was the taser. Just going around tasing guys, and then you hold the button long enough, and they catch on fire. It's hilarious. Uh, Especially in that first level where you're on the street, and then you gotta go into the train station and defuse that bomb. It's I think that was the initially when I initially played it. That was the only level that I got past. But I honed in and focused and got it was able to finish the game. And the subsequent sequels, part two and part three, double, like the game in addition to getting better with more enhancements, also got longer because the first Siphon Filter is a pretty long game, but la- the original trilogy, it was double discs. So what do you call it? And in that area, if you guys remember, like the PlayStation, the PlayStation era, PS1, shortly before the PS2 launched, there were a lot of double disc games. Final Fantasy is a core example of that, and of course, these Siphon Filter. So it was a lot of double disc games to get a little more bang for your buck. Probably maybe I'll cover Seven Filter Two and Seven Filter Three in later episodes of the series. But man, I just remembered like going, just having fun for hours, just playing Seven Filter, and you know that was my first taste of third person shooters. Which is a genre now that I have learned to love immensely. But yeah, um, Siphon Filter, man, PlayStation, and then as soon as you boot up the game, you hear the iconic 989 Studios. That's pretty damn. Yeah, that always takes me back, man. Nostalgia at its finest. But man, Siphon Filter. Let me know if you guys love playing the game as much as I do. Uh, as much as I do, man. And tell me what your favorite entry in the series is. It could even be one of the later ones, like on PS2 or PSP. Doesn't matter. Just let me know. Let's talk about it. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.